You want to do a movie review?
Let's get it.
So we did a scream unseen, scene unseen,
Why do you keep saying scene on
screen.
scene? Like, why is that so tough for you?
Can you just let me have it, dude?
No. I think I called you on it last time you said it too.
It's hard to talk this much and not fuck it up sometimes. And we talked about this. Like, scene unseen still works.
Sure.
Like, I get why screen unseen is the name, but scene unseen works. So we went and saw Scene Unseen last night. I don't know where to start with this one. We want to start with the movie theater experience again.
Yeah, I mean, that's usually where we start anyways.
This one doesn't have as much of like a long thing to go along with it. Usually there's some like long elaborate thing that happens to us when we go to these.
Yeah.
This was pretty smooth sailing.
For the most part.
No issues with the seating. This one wasn't sold out. They're doing way more of these now, by the way.
Did you see they had 2 showings of this?
No, last week they did 2 showings.
No, this week they did too.
Really?
Yeah, so they had the 7 o'clock and the 7:10. And the 7 o'clock was like maybe like 70% full, and that's the one we went to. The 7:10 probably had like 8 seats sold when I looked at it at like 650.
Well, I think when people are starting to get more hip to this too, and they know that you can go find out what potentially is showing, it might start to take away some of the allure for people.
Yeah.
But the fact that they're getting enough to justify two showings is still good for them. You know, like for what it generates on a Monday night for a movie theater. They just announced a new Scene Unseen for 2 weeks from now.
Okay.
I already got a ticket.
I'll have to look at that.
It's a PG movie this time, though. That could be dicey. So nothing like from a experience standpoint that would be any different from a regular viewing experience for a movie. Do you want to get into the crowd now? We'll let it play it. I want to say what movie it was first, because I think it'll make more sense to people why it was like off-putting.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's always a mixed bag with this thing. And like the reason we like going is because like it gets you to see things you're not always going to see, right? I think as of right now, the 3 movies I've seen by going to these mystery showings have been things that I probably wouldn't have gone out of my way to see in the theater otherwise.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that. And like with that being said, like sometimes you're going to hit it out of the park and really enjoy stuff. And sometimes it's going to be like, yeah, you know? And this, it took the wind out of my sails a bit once you told me, because when you got there, I thought it was going to be Out of Darkness because that's what they did last week. And I just thought they were going to run it back again since they were doing it so soon afterwards. And I assume we'll get your thoughts on that because I didn't get to go in taste test, right?
Yep.
So I didn't get to go to that one. And I was like, okay, like I've not read great reviews for that movie, but I like a couple of the actors that I saw were in it. It sounds like an interesting idea. And I heard the cinematography was really nice in it, which you kind of confirmed for me. And when you told me it wasn't going to be that, and you were like, I'm pretty sure it's going to be Lisa Frankenstein, I was like, fuck, because I said this to you before the movie came on. I was like, I like Catherine Newton. I like, I've been on a Sprouse Boys kick recently, Dylan and Cole. And so I like both of them. And I saw a couple of interviews with them, and they seem to have really good chemistry. I guess they've known each other since they were like 3 or 4 years old.
Oh, shit.
Like they've known each other for a very long time, which I think like we'll get into their performances. But I wasn't excited because I'd seen a little bit of a trailer for this, and I was like, it's just not something I care about. Like, it's not a traditional rom-com. It's like kind of a weird, like, artsy movie in some ways. Like, it's quirky. There's parts of this that I think I'm gonna be positive on, but then it's like not gonna reflect in my overall like review, I suppose, of the movie.
Yeah.
But there was this weird thing with the audience yesterday.
Yes.
And I said this to you when we left the theater, where it's like the theater you said was about 70% full, right?
Yeah.
And there was like 2 groups specifically, but maybe a trickle, like a few more other people.
No, it was really
but there
just
was
2.
just 2.
And you can't even say 2 groups. It was just 2 individuals in groups.
Yes. That if you just closed your eyes and only could focus on their reactions and didn't know what was going on for yourself, you would come away being like, they just saw Superbad for the first time you know?
Yeah.
Like they were just at the Hangover and saw like Mike Tyson knock a motherfucker out while Phil Collins is ripping on the drums for the first time. You know, like they thought this movie could do no wrong. Like every single joke,
Was
some
the
more than
funniest
others, but
fucking
like
thing in the
yeah,
world to
like
them,
we're
yeah.
cackle out loud for the whole theater to hear it. No embarrassment to it. Which I respect the fuck out of. I said that to you while it was happening yesterday. It was off-putting for me. Don't get me wrong. Like I felt uncomfortable for them. Like, and I said to you, like my thing was like, imagine going to a theater on like a date or like for the first time with a girl to see a movie, and you don't know that this is how she laughs. Like we said like she laughs like this lady was laughing like the Wicked Witch of the West.
Yeah, it was a cackle.
And like imagine you just do that and it's like you just have to get up and you're like we're done. Like here's the money for your Uber.
Yeah, no,
figure out
we gotta
your
go.
home.
We gotta go.
Yeah. So I don't know if it like helped the movie because
for me, think it hurt the movie.
Okay, why?
Because I think there were definitely scenes where I was like, all right, yeah, that's kind of funny. And then you would hear the fucking cackle and I'd be like, no, it's not that funny. And now I'm being critical of the movie because she's laughing too loud.
Like, I guess it's the thing where comedy is subjective, right?
Yeah.
And like everybody's going to react to that stuff differently. I was going to say that maybe because from a review standpoint of the movie itself, I agree. There was parts that I was like, that's funny or that's clever, you know? Nothing got me to like outwardly laugh. You know, nothing got me to really break character, so to speak. I was pretty much like, just like, okay, like that's cool. Like that's kind of funny. That's cute, whatever. But nothing was like bust your gut laughing.
No.
But I was like the same way I felt from maybe like Barbie, where I'm like, maybe this is just something that I'm missing, you know, with the movie that's not landing for me personally. And that's where I said maybe like, it lifts my opinion of it a little bit where I'm like, this movie, I think, is going to be a divide. I think it's going to end up being a culty movie.
Yeah, I give it that, yeah.
Because I think that there's going to be a group of people who are like, this movie's brilliant. It's really funny. It's a unique vision on a story.
It's different than anything we've gotten recently. I'll give it that much.
Yeah, and I think some of that is true. Like, I do think it's a very unique vision.
Yeah.
And what I was going to say about Cole Sprouse, especially him, I was impressed with the performance.
Yeah.
He doesn't
Great performance for not saying a single word.
He doesn't speak till the last minute of the movie.
Did he speak?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
He literally doesn't have lines. It's an hour and 45-minute movie. He has one line of 1 minute of dialogue in that he's in a decent amount of the movie. And I think as his character becomes more human, because I mean, for people who don't realize, and it's not really a spoiler, it's called fucking Lisa Frankenstein, right? It's he plays Frankenstein essentially. Like he plays
Frankenstein's monster, yeah.
Yeah, like he plays he plays a corpse that's like resurrected and is slowly coming back to life essentially.
Yeah,
and she plays, I guess, Frankenstein. To your point, right? Like she or like Frankenstein's wife. I don't know how that plays out. I'm not familiar enough with the Frankenstein story. And it's just kind of like a weird love story to a point. It's like a mixture of like a weird like high school love story mixed with like a not like Bonnie and Clyde, but like, you know, like two people on the run for a majority of the movie, but not not on the like legitimately like on the run from the police, but like committing crimes, doing bad stuff, but having like the time of their life and living their own little like pocket of the world that they're living in for those moments.
Yeah.
And I think their ability and like they had to be really strong in those roles. Cause I thought the same way he evolves without saying a word, because his emotions, the more human he gets, I think he was able to do a lot with his emotions without saying a fucking word.
Yes.
Like you could feel when she's talking about like, in 3, 2, 1, I like,
do we even have to 3, 2, 1 anymore? If we're fucking talking about a movie, chances are there's going to be spoilers.
But some weeks we do a better job than others, you know? I think it comes down to the movie, and I think at this point we have a pretty good pulse on what's going to do well in the theater or not. And to your point, like don't listen to reviews if you really wanted to go see a movie at all, because like go in with your own opinion, not cloud it because of what other people say, would be my general thoughts on that. Like come back to this later. But yeah, the when she starts talking about like losing her virginity to the other dude and stuff, and like he's not saying anything. He's barely even like moving, but you can just read it.
See how bummed out he is.
Yeah, like that. I thought that stuff was all really good. I also thought that her growth, like throughout the movie, going from like this introvert to extrovert character, and like the clothing change and the way she carried herself and everything. Like I thought they were both really good. It's funny because I kind of said this earlier. I think there's aspects of the movie. While I came away pretty overall low on this, from an overall opinion, because it just didn't hit that much for me. The performances from head to toe, I kind of appreciate it. Like I thought the sister was pretty good the whole way through. I thought the mother, for the short period that she was in it, was the stepmom was like was good in there. Like it had some good little side characters to it, but the two leads really drive the show for me, and I thought they were really, really solid. I think what it comes down to is, does the humor land for you or not? Right? Like, can you respond like those people did? And maybe not obnoxiously, so the whole theater's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
But like more of like are you consistently laughing through it? Like some jokes hit better than others, but like I just didn't find it to be funny enough for me.
Yeah, I basically left there with an overall impression of didn't love it, didn't hate it. Just kind of fell in the middle for me.
I think I'm a little lower than the middle.
Yeah.
I don't have much more from a critical standpoint to talk about on. I don't know how much more you have to say on it. Like, because there wasn't too much specifics. Like, there wasn't anything that, like,
I mean, you hit on basically like the bright points of the movie. Like, it was different. Like, the acting performances were great. The development of the characters were great. The story was fine, right? I just think the humor might have missed me a little bit, and I don't know how much of that has to do with our theater experience.
I don't like, because I think it's one of those things where for that style of movie, as great as the acting performances were, and I thought the script was pretty solid, the characters don't resonate with me in any way, you know? I wasn't super emotionally invested into their, like, the love story between, like, a monster and a girl, you know?
Yeah. Wasn't your kind of rom-com.
No. I think that's where it maybe misses a little bit for me, is that I didn't feel, like, emotionally invested into them. I just knew what they were doing was very good. You know, like I just saw their individual performances as like, wow, like these are going to get them a lot more opportunities. Like, and I think the Sprouse brothers in particular, in a way, are going to always kind of need to fight for some level of appreciation because of getting there. Like we talked about Big Daddy last week. It's like when you're on a screen that young, and then they did The Secret Life of
The Sweet Life.
The Sweet Life. Okay, yeah. Like they've just been on screens for so long, and like you see what happens with Zac Efron, right? Like when you start that young, you're always trying to fight that I was just a kid actor, privileged like stereotype to a point, you know. And I think that a role like this is going to help them continue. Or this was Cole, right? This is Cole.
Yeah, Cole.
To be able to break that mold. You know, I think Dylan's gone the route of like the true rom-com route, and that's fine too. Like I think that they're both just trying to like etch out their own lane in movies, and I appreciate that. And I think that this role is going to help a lot. Catherine Newton, I think you're just going to start seeing, as she did the Marvel stuff. I think that this is like a jump into more of a credible acting role, and I think you're going to see like the artsy movie thing is always a good route to take something to where like it's not like this huge box office movie or anything.
Yeah, like I don't think this movie is going to be crazy successful, but I think her performance in it is solid enough to land her other opportunities.
And you're coming out at a time where like there's not a lot of competition for Valentine's Day this year, right?
Yeah.
Funny enough, like Anyone But You's getting a re-release for Valentine's Day. They're doing like an extended cut version of it. I forget what it's called, but like, yeah, it's Anyone But You, but it's just got more scenes in it that they're re-releasing for Valentine's Day. That movie just broke 150 million, by the way, at the box office. Nice. It's like doing phenomenally well.
That's really good.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's get into rankings real quick. So what did you give it for stars?
I I gotta pull it up, but I'm pretty sure I gave it 2 stars.
So I made some adjustments around this because of the ranking. So I gave this 2 stars as well. And that's where I say I think I came in, and you said you came in right in the middle. This is a little bit under.
I said somewhere in the middle.
So I came in a little bit below average for me. So this is movie number 6 on the year for me. This is movie number 8 on the year for you.
Yeah, movie number 8. I dropped it at number 5.
So I also have it at number 5. I have it in front of ISS. I'm toying with the idea of it being better than Night Swim.
I put it above Night Swim.
Yeah, they're both. So here's what I did. I dropped ISS down to 1.5 stars,
which is what I have it at.
Yep. Night Swim and this are both still at 2 stars.
Yep.
I think from a creativity standpoint, I'm probably going to jump this in front of Night Swim, but for right now, I have it behind it.
And that's basically what my thought process was with putting it ahead of Night Swim is, regardless of my overall impression of the movie, I think this movie did a lot more right than Night Swim did.
Yeah, I think it gets points for creativity and trying. Not just being cookie cutter isn't a bad thing, you know? And I think for the most part, it executed on some stuff. And while, again, I don't think butt gusting laughing, there were some parts that I think people are going to really enjoy about this movie.
Yeah.
From it's very quirky. Very, very quirky. So I think
the entire movie is a very dark but quirky undertone.
Again, we appreciate you for sticking around. If you've gotten this far, thank you so much. If you could drop a like on this video, comment down below with some of your thoughts on what we talked about. Tell a friend, ask a friend, subscribe to the pod here on YouTube. If you could, we are also on all audio platforms. If you don't watch on video, you want to listen to us in the car, whatever it might be, don't watch and drive. That's my lesson to you for the week. But you can listen to us on anywhere audio podcasts are provided. Dante, are they able to check you out anywhere? Are we still doing this?
What's the point, right?
Yeah.
It'll be on the screen up there.
Hey, do you think I should buy Harry Potter? We have a minute here, so make this quick.
Oh, the video game?
Mm-hmm.
It's not Harry Potter, but yeah, it is really
Hogwarts.
Yeah.
It's on sale for $35 on
It's a
on
good
Steam.
game. I think you'd enjoy it.
Okay. Thank you for that. That's a recommendation for the people out there, too. If you have Steam, you play on PC, it's on sale for $35 till February 11th or something like that. This will probably have already been out after February 11th at that point. So, yeah. So don't bother. Sorry. Keep an eye out for a sale, though. And with that being said, we appreciate you so much, and we will see you next week. Bang. Bang. Adios, fale, adieu. Later to you.
Poet, and he didn't know it.
For those with good taste.